Inkeater, and here we are. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last 2 days, and Happy New Year to anybody and anybody, anyone and everyone who's watching this. It was kind of fun putting together that drama hell. It's not perfect. It's kind of everything I wanted it to be, though, because it was really fun to make. Really miss making those, and I completely forgot that the last one that I made, I believe, well, I know I made some other things in between, but I believe the last big one that I did was when I did one with Brent Vlogs. That one's pretty awesome. If you want to check that one out, you can check that out right there. I don't know where I was going with that. That was kind of an unintentional tangent. Really, I wanted to talk about how sometimes we don't realize how good we have it, or just how awesome a place it is that we live in. And I kind of realized this over the holiday vacation season when I went down to go visit my grandmother. My abuela! If I call her my abuela, that's because that's grandmother in Spanish, for all of you that don't know. I think it's really cool, though, because I learned a lot of you are from Spain, and I think some of you, one of you was actually from Nicaragua, which I was like, what? You might be a family member. Which you probably are, in which case, oh crap. Anyway, just kidding. But most recently, I went to go visit my abuelita, and I hate the drive from Fort Lauderdale to right around about Homestead. Here's a picture graphic just so you can get an idea for time, space, and whatever you want to know. Relativity, maybe? But I didn't want to take the highways. I wanted to avoid the highways at all costs, because I was thinking to myself, everybody and their mother is driving on a highway to get down to Miami. There's no way in hell that I'm going to be driving to Miami on one of our main highways. No, I'm going to take the scenic route. I'm totally above this. So I pulled out my phone, and I had been using this app for a while called Scout, and it pretty much gives you an estimate. It's a really cool app that gives you detours and different ways to take, like you can avoid tolls, highways. I'm pretty sure that other apps do this as well. This is just the one that I happen to use, and it was insanely cool because it gave me this route that I never would have come up upon, and I found a secret way to get into Miami, and I feel like I'm sneaking in almost. Except for I could see how this road would be really, really bad if I decided to take it at the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. But it was such an awesome option, and it made me actually stop to realize how beautiful Florida really is, and how some people just don't give it enough credit. Yeah, sure, when you think of Florida, you think of beaches, clubs, spring break, and that's pretty much it. You don't think of the awesome Everglades, you don't think of these big flat plains, and how just only one side of Florida has actual living inhabitants. The rest of it is just swampland. It took me a minute to realize. It's funny though, because I never sat there and thought of Everglades as swampland. I always thought of the Everglades as the Everglades, because that's what we've always called it. We've never called it the swamp. The only time I've ever heard the swamp was when I thought of New Orleans and the bayous and stuff. And it's kind of funny because, Alethea, duh, you kind of live next to the swamp. You live in humid weather that is the swamp. You've grown up here your whole life. And it's kind of funny because I didn't realize how much I love Florida, or rather, I kind of forgotten how much I love Florida until I sat there and I actually took the scenic route home. I had to get all the way west, so I took the 595 to the I-75, and then the I-75 to Okeechobee, and then onto Chrome Road until I got down to Abuela. And it was awesome because it was such a quiet, scenic route, and it was just so much quietness and being able to just go 55 miles an hour on a road and not think I was in Florida for a minute, and really make me take a step back and go, whoa. This is the awesomeness that I live in. I learned a lot. I learned that Okeechobee Road goes north. I never realized that, and it turns into US 27. Go figure. And I learned that my family lives really, really near the Everglades, more so than I really wanted to even know. And we are out in the boonies. But it's so crazy and so awesome, and it's so beautiful, and it's these little things that I don't think people stop to think of when they think of Florida. because I started thinking, I was talking with one of my friends, and we were comparing, like, states, and I was like, I don't think I could ever do it in a northern state. I mean, I'm so fortunate in Florida, and I started to sit there and really think about it. One thing, we've got mangoes. If I moved into a northern state, I wouldn't have mangoes. I would have probably little to no tropical fruit. Most of the fruit that would probably be available is apples and maybe a little bit of other stuff. I mean, I know we've gotten better in years, but I can't comprehend that. I can't comprehend the idea of not being able to eat any kind of food that I possibly want, other than Hawaiian food. Hawaiian food is one type of food that I have not been able to find in Florida. And do not tell me that the Polynesian whatever shimama thing is Hawaiian food, because it is not. That's the only thing that I really crave that I haven't been able to get. So I'm still on a mission for that one. But for the most part, I can get any type of food that I crave in the world in South Florida. I can go from beaches and sand to Everglades and alligators. And that's insanely cool to me. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I also realized that if I went to a northern state, I would have to sit there and I would have to warm up my car. That is a concept that is beyond me. Shoveling snow, sitting there and scraping off ice. I'm very much so a sunshine type of person, and it's kind of crazy to think how sometimes I take for granted the city or the state that I live in until moments like this, when I'm actually presented with the reality and the awesomeness that is what it is. I'm rambling now, but have you ever had something like that happen to you where you just learn to appreciate the little things in life and you start to realize just how awesome everything is around you? I wouldn't trade all the sunshine in the world or all the humidity or all the heat for cold. I really wouldn't. I love how it gets hot. I actually appreciate. I don't do well in cold, is all I'm gonna say. I can appreciate it, I can love it for a minute, want to throw a snowball, but after that, the layers of clothing kill me. How do you people do that? Like, that is the one thing that I couldn't get over when I had to go to northern states to go pick up collections, was the sheer amount of layers. It's like, this is too many layers. I cannot do this. And my dad just tells me you get used to it, but I'm not too sure. Let me know down in the comments below. Has that ever happened to you? Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys are awesome, and bye!